Well, hello everyone. Welcome to Sports Night. My name is Jonathan Caleri, being joined by Damian Ritchie. Damian, this is the first show we've done in quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a year and a half.
Maybe more, as our children slowly drained our
Yeah, I was gonna say, the main reason is
to live.
we each have two children now. We each have two girls, and
Yeah.
that's probably the main reason why we have had no time whatsoever to do anything such as this.
Yeah, I like this though because this is, for those who don't know, we we're at WSFR at Suffolk, and we were in the radio, and what was your title?
When I was at Suffolk,
Yeah.
my title was promotions manager.
And I was program director.
That sounds right. Or maybe I was
Yeah.
promotions director, but it was promotions and
Either
program.
way, you
yeah.
know, we were high up in the radio totem pole, so high up that I chopped off the top of the totem pole and rose to power.
But yeah, so it's been a while since we're trying to do something a little bit different here. I'm going
Yeah.
to see if I can adjust this.
You don't need me in the picture.
Well, I want to get us both somewhat equally in. I should mention too, this is going to be obviously on QATV, but we're also doing a live stream right now on YouTube, so people can, if they were watching right now, you could go on and see us and see what's happening and interact with us, I guess, as well. I guess there is a way to interact with us on YouTube. This is all set up earlier today. So I don't know if anyone is actually viewing. It looks like we have 3 people viewing. Now, I know one of those is me.
That actually is in the thousands. So
Yeah, yes, they don't have enough digits to have all the things up there. So I believe there is a chat function somewhere in this. I don't know where it is. I have to see where it is. I don't know. All this YouTube technology. Who knew?
If somebody's watching, while you're watching, look to see if there's any chat functions, and maybe something will pop up on our screen.
Hold on a second. Chat. Let's see. I'm going to enable chat, and we'll see if anyone comes up and says something.
All right, so everybody reload.
All right. So anyway, this is the kind of a new incarnation of Sports Night. We're going to try to do something different here in the QATV studios. Like I said, do this live streaming.
Yeah.
We have 2 GoPros that are recording this right now. They're probably looking at each other, as you can see the blinking lights.
Here's my question: is GoPro a brand or a type of camera?
Yes.
It's both.
It's both.
So it's like an iPad is an MP, but it's an MP3 or so. All right, so you can't. Is there a generic GoPro?
No, all the GoPros are just like, well, these ones that I'm using are the Hero 4. Hero 4 Silver, I think, is what the actual camera model is. So, but the GoPro is the brand and the type of camera as well, because it's been its own thing, if you will.
Okay.
So like,
nobody jumped on that market yet.
As of right now, no, because I think GoPro, they've done a really good job doing what they're doing.
Someone can always do it better.
You never know.
Like Oreo is the generic version of the hydroxy cookies.
Correct.
Oreo's clearly better. So you can always build a better mousetrap.
Well, I guess as of right now, no one has so desired to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have the GoPro set up. Now, this is the first time I've set it up in here to do it like this.
Yeah.
I know my coworkers have done it a couple times in the studio,
Yeah.
and I know they were not as dumb as me to have these directly apart from each other, so you can see the red lights flashing that I wasn't thinking. I might move this one. And have just a nice big close-up of you the entire time.
That's fine. I don't think it would make that. I don't think it makes that much of a difference. It shows, the intimacy of a studio.
Well, that was one thing when we were talking about this, is obviously if you're listening to this at home, you can't really see what we're doing. So hopefully you can go online at some point, and I'll post this somewhere, hopefully, so you can watch it in studio. And it's going to be tried to be a podcast as well. So that's the other thing I'm going to try to look for too. But anyway, so I'll try to move these things around. But like I said, the original thought of having stuff in the studio was kind of like, radio on TV. So kind of take away all the fanciness of it and the things that you're not supposed to see, and there's cords hanging around, there's this and there's that, whatever it might be. So, we're taking away all those different things. We're going to be looking at our phones. I have my iPad out.
We're getting back to our roots at WSFR.
Exactly. Now, so one of my coworkers, Martin, just texted me saying the comments are disabled. To chat, you have to unlock it. And
well,
then
you did so.
yeah, so as we're talking along here, we'll see if I thought I had it enabled, but maybe I do not. It says enable live chat, so it's checked off. So Martin, I don't know, maybe he needs to sign into YouTube to do it like that. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to type in to say hello, and we'll see if anyone responds.
Okay.
Okay, so Sports Night.
Oh, actually, somebody already posted.
Oh, never mind. Yeah, that was Martin saying, never mind. Missed that. So good. Okay, so the chat is enabled. So if someone is streaming and watching at home.
So since this is Sports Night, we should get into politics immediately.
Yes, we probably should. Well, that was one thing. I want to change the name of the show in some manner, and I don't know what I want it to be. And maybe it's just going to be Sports Night, or I don't know. I want to do something a little bit different because I feel like we should talk more about just sports. Because a lot of times at Sports Night, we would get off the rails and talk about something random. We would talk about something in Quincy or some other random stuff going on, and we would be not prepared for it and whatever it might be. But I don't know what else. What I want to name the show something different. So it's mostly sports, but there's going to be other things randomly we jump in as well. And maybe it's going to be something that would go at home with our girls or parenting or whatever.
What about What's His Face's show now that he left ESPN and the ESPN got rid of that? What the heck's the name?
Oh, you mean Olbermann?
Not Olbermann, the other guy.
Oh, Colin Cowherd?
No.
Bill Simmons?
Yeah, Simmons.
Look how many people left ESPN since our last show.
I wouldn't want to leave ESPN.
I've listened to a few of Simmons' podcasts on the new one, and it's basically the same thing. Nothing different or whatnot.
Yeah.
So
we'll think of a name. It can be Behind the Lines.
Behind the Lines instead of Outside the Lines?
Yeah.
But yeah, I want to think of something a little bit different than just Sports Night. So it can encompass everything that we...
the hash mark.
Who knows what it's going to be?
Foul territory. Frozen ropes.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? Something along those lines. I just don't know what it's going to be. But
the crease.
To encompass everything that we want to do. So anyway, what do you want to talk about? Should we want to talk about the Patriots first?
There's a lot. The Patriots won the Super Bowl last time.
Yes, I mean that's. I don't remember the last time we did a show.
They drafted a guy in the 6th round named Tom Brady. He turned out pretty well.
I don't think it's been that long. So
well, I mean, year in review in a sense of sports. We had obviously the Patriots won the Super Bowl. After they stocked up and got Browner and Revis.
Yep.
But hey, I don't live in the past. I live in the now and then eventually the tomorrow. So let's talk about this undefeated Patriots team so far. So here's the first question I'll throw at you, John. You have those people who say, a loss doesn't hurt you.
I don't know. I obviously, I guess if they had lost this game against the Giants, it would have been okay because it's not the last thing in the world to happen. But I think the way they could have lost it would have been bad. I mean, I was watching the game at home and I was eating dinner, so I was kind of watching it in the reflection of the china cabinet of where I was sitting, and Amendola was running back. Was the punt return, wasn't it? I think that he's running back, and we were all of a sudden, I jump, I'm like, go!
It was a great open field tackle
by his own player, yes. And I said he just got hit by his own player, and my wife said, did he? And because she just didn't catch it, and I looked over and I was like, yep, he definitely did. And I rewound it, and I couldn't believe that's what happened. So I don't know. That would have been a terrible way, and then to have. Blunt go in for the touchdown. I get called back because of the hold. Yeah. And then, was it the next play or 2 plays later, Brady throws the interception.
Yeah, to LaFell.
So, I mean, that was
one thing,
no good.
People were complaining about that, obviously New York fans. Well, there was a guy that, actually speaking of YouTube, put up a video showing that the Patriots were granted more time to get ready for the field goal. But
yeah, they reset the play clock. It was coming down to like 3 or 2 seconds, and then it went back to 25. So I don't know why they reset the play clock. Now, you, as Mr. Referee and official, might know and understand why. Yeah, because I don't know what if it was a delay spotting the ball or what it might have been. I don't know.
Were they coming? I thought the Giants called a timeout.
No, I don't think so. Brady had to spike the ball.
So Brady spiked the ball.
Brady spiked the ball on third down or whatever it was, and then that set them up to because was it Amendola got the catch to get them inside field goal range? Yes. So actually that might have got the first down as well, and then they came up and spiked the ball, and then
I could have sworn the Giants called Brady spiked the ball, and then the Giants called the timeout, like the freeze the kicker thing.
Oh yes, you're right, they did.
So
they did.
There you go. That's why.
But they called the timeout, then they. I don't know. Maybe
that would reset. That should reset the play.
Well, it did, but I feel like it got reset again because like they were slow. But I don't, when they actually were getting ready to kick the ball,
it's called. We like to call that common sense officiating. Does it really matter? You know what was I actually was able to go on Gillette to officiate the Special Olympics, which is a great organization. I think everybody should volunteer at some point for it. And you forget that the goalposts are narrower
in the NFL.
Right. I mean, and you just standing on the 30-yard line and looking at them, you have to laugh. It's like ridiculous how narrow they are compared to high school and college.
Do you know what the width is for an NFL compared to college and high school?
I think it's about like 7 feet in inches narrower, I believe.
Wow.
Which doesn't sound like much, but when you visually see it, and as a referee, I'm walking down the field and it's the goalpost. It just kind of stood up to me. It's like seeing a 1988 Cadillac Eldorado and then a Mini Cooper pull up. It's
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what was it, a 53-yard kick, a 54-yard kick that Gronkowski made? Yeah. That's a good distance there as well. Now, I saw someone on Facebook post this the other day, and he's been one of the most accurate kickers in the history of the NFL. He hasn't missed a kick this year, and from 50 yards or more in his career, he's like 14 of 18, or it's a pretty good number from 50 yards plus.
Yeah, and
it would be interesting on Facebook. I believe it was our friend Kenny who had posted something like this about, it would have been interesting to see if Belichick had let him kick that 50-yard field goal in the 2007 Super Bowl against the Giants, because he didn't. It was going to be like a 52-yard or 50-yard or whatever it was going to be, and he decided to go for it on fourth down instead of kicking the field goal. They didn't convert, and the Giants took over. Now, who knows what would have happened? But I always thought even at that point they should have let him kick it. And
yeah,
I mean, I understand it. At that point, I think that was his second year in the league, and all right, he's a second-year kicker, a big thing. But you know what? I mean, you think that they knew they got rid of Vinatieri for a reason, because they had the Gostkowski, and he's been proving that was a pretty good call. I mean, Vinatieri's still doing a good job, but Gostkowski's been great. You cut him to keep Gostkowski, let him kick the field goal.
No, exactly. I agree. Yeah, hindsight's always 20/20 though.
It is. So I think the reason why this is brought up too is that they were showing all those highlights from the game on Sunday from the 07 and 11.
I hate that. Why do they have
Super Bowls.
Relive that?
Yeah, it's tough watching all those different things that are happening.
Imagine if we won those 2 Super Bowls. How Brady would be sitting there with
6 Super Bowls,
6 rings.
Even one. If he had won just one of them, like I think they definitely should have won the 07 one. The 11 one, who knows? But they should have won 07.
Here's the other thing I like to throw at you. Why is there so much hatred for Tom Brady? Is it something? And since the World Wide Web is watching us now as we speak, we're up to 6 million viewers. So why the hatred nationwide for Tom Brady? Is it like, and I'm not a homer. I'm not gonna like rah the home team. I will critique our home team. I mean, obviously I'm a Patriots fan, but I do wear black and white, John. I am an unbiased observer.
In theory, you're neutral.
Yeah.
Yes.
I root for the third team that no one knows about, but no. But like with all, is it jealousy? Is it jealousy for?
I think part of it's jealousy. Part of it is I was just told someone's trying to call our line, so I'll have to have him call back in a second here.
Tell him to.
Hold on a second. Let's see here. I didn't see the thing flashing, so we do have a call. So let me bring him up and let's see if we can get him here. And bring this level up as well. Bring that level up a little bit. Hello, caller. See, the call is listening to the stream, not onto his phone.
Typical radio
yes.
problem.
Hey, caller, can you hear us? Hello, hello.
Hello?
Hello, can you turn down your radio? So you can tell, we can hear him listening to the stream. Hello, are you still there?
Hello?
Seth,
Can you hear us, Seth? You got to turn down.
turn down the volume on the computer. There's a delay.
I'm pretty sure I have everything set. Oh, hold on a second. Let me.
This is ridiculous.
Hello, hello,
Hey, can
hello.
you hear us?
Oh,
Can you hear
Hey.
us? Hey, can you hear us now?
yeah, I can hear you now. What kind of super camera operation are you running here?
What kind of operation? We are running a first-class, newly run organization that I'm still learning how to do some of the controls. I forgot to turn up one of the volumes to have our audio sent to Seth, so that was the issue. So,
Oh, okay. No, that makes sense to me. I'm totally up to date with all of your technical jargon.
Seth, what city are you in tonight? I know you're a little jet setter.
Yeah, no, I've been all over the great state for the past few weeks. Tonight I'm actually home, though. I'm in Saugus.
Okay.
all right. So, did you hear what we were just mentioning about why Brady is hated throughout the entire country?
Yeah, because he's friggin' awesome.
So just simple
Yeah,
as
no,
that.
I've been watching the stream. You guys look great, by the way, although Damien's halfully cut off. You
I know.
You gotta move the camera
I'm too big.
Oh, is that what? Yeah.
Yes, it's kind of tough. Well, let me see if I can.
There
move
we go.
Just a little bit like that.
Yeah, I mean,
No, I want to move it
whatever.
like this. There we go. Yeah, it's
So-
the way we're doing this tonight is really we should have done less than what I did, but I always try to do more than I should in the
Yeah.
beginning. So I probably should have done
Yeah. You want to go big. You want to start big. I understand. This is the premier show.
exactly. So
Yeah.
I probably should have done just one thing, but I did 10 things.
Yeah.
As I always try to do. So they're probably all working halfway instead of a few things working full way. As you can see, I didn't have our volume turned up so you could hear us and other different things. And I have GoPros facing each other, so they're going to be pointing at each other when the video airs on QATV later on. But, hey, what can you do?
I don't know.
now if two GoPros face each other, is that like crossing streams in Ghostbusters? Is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
Will they become self-aware?
Maybe, yes. All right, so, Seth, we were talking about the Patriots earlier, as you heard. And other than Tom Brady and the undefeated season talk has already begun, what are your thoughts on that? Should they get a loss out of the way and just win the Super Bowl since that's the ultimate goal?
God, no. What's wrong with you? 19-0.
Well, that's what I'm asking you for.
Yeah, no. 19-0. I mean, last week was listen to me. Last week was the only hurdle for the entire season, okay? We're gonna breeze through the rest of the schedule. No one's gonna come within 2 scores of us the rest of the way through. All right? Edelman's gonna get better during the bye week. He's gonna come back in the divisional round. It's gonna be a cakewalk, piece of cake, 19-0 season. I mean, wake me up when it's the Super Bowl already, would you?
So you don't think any other team is going to pose a challenge? Is it because of Manning is now like no longer anything close to being Peyton Manning?
And the red rifle is now the Red Ryder BB gun.
It's a good game anyway. Their defense has been good. I know it's the #1 ranked defense and all of that, so I can appreciate that. But anyone that's actually watched the games has known that they're not a real threat. They were like a house of cards waiting to topple. The AFC sucks. We're the only team that's worthy of being in the NFL from the AFC.
What about the Cincinnati Bengals?
Oh, they scored 6 points on the Houston Texans last night.
They were going against Clowney, J.J. Watt, and Vince Wilfork.
Good Lord.
So, but in all honesty, do you think there's any team that could give the Patriots and the AFC a match, or is it just an easy road to the Super
Okay,
Bowl?
Seth, how about this? Let me just put it at you right now. Right now, they play next game. Hypothetically speaking, they're playing the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
What's the outcome? We have lost tackles. We have.
So you're talking about a neutral site game, like as if it were the Super Bowl?
No, we're going to Carolina. We don't and think of all our injuries.
Yeah.
I don't even know if what's our face, that our speedy linebacker, he's been hanging out with Charlie Sheen and now he's too sick.
Yeah, no, I know. So yeah, I respect Carolina probably more than any other team from the AFC, but we still win that game with relative ease because they have. I mean, just look at how that team is comprised. They're an NFC style team, which is run the ball effectively and play solid defense, which has been proven not to work against teams like the Patriots. Brady's going to spread them out. He's going to go deep. He's going to go short. Dink and dunk all the way down the field. And when it comes to the opposite side, when Cam Newton has to make a play, who's he going to throw to? 2 rookies and a tight end that can be covered up by 3 or 4 guys at once. It's easy game plan. And plus, Ron Rivera, come on, he's gross.
So, I mean, Greg Olsen's a good tight end, but like you said, they could just double team him easily. And
Right.
is Jonathan Stewart that great of a running back?
No.
Other than Olsen and Stewart and Newton, they have nobody else. I mean, obviously Benjamin's hurt. If they had him, there'd be a little bit more of an element there. I mean, what is it? Ted Ginn's the best wide receiver.
So they have Kerry Brown, Devin Funchess, both rookies. They have Ted Ginn Jr., who has shown through multiple games that he cannot consistently catch a football.
Right.
And they have Cam. I mean, one of the more surprising stats, or one of the stats that I liked looking at halfway through the season, was that Cam Newton had worse statistical
Than Kaepernick,
had a worse
yeah.
statistical season than Kaepernick. Yet was like 7-0 at the time, and Kaepernick got benched. I mean, I'm not saying Carolina's a front team. That offense is certainly nothing to worry about.
All right, so you say there's no team in the AFC that will be able to beat them. What
No.
team in the NFC is going to pose a challenge to the Patriots? Obviously not the Panthers. In your opinion.
So the teams that could give the Patriots a problem would be a team like Green Bay still. Probably even a team like Atlanta. I know they've been struggling and their defense is pretty awful. But it's not about what a team can do to us defensively. It's about what a team's offense can do to our defense. So you look for good quarterbacks, right? Good wide receivers, and a decent run game. That's how you beat the Patriots.
Well, yeah, and obviously, the Cowboys gave the Patriots a very hard time in the first half of that game.
And that was without Romo.
And they had a kicker playing quarterback, so
Damian's right. That's the type of team that, they probably won't make the playoffs, but it's that type of roster that's going to give the Patriots a hard time. It's a good quarterback, a good, capable quarterback with a ton of wide receiver threats. I mean, look what a team like Pittsburgh did to us in Week 1, and I know that they were without their best running back and all that, but we said that Malcolm had a good game, but still gave up almost 200 yards to Antonio Brown. If he scores a couple of times, whatever.
I agree, and he has been getting better. And we don't have a shutdown secondary.
No, we don't. Butler would be probably the best number 2 corner in the league, but making him play number 1, even though he's been really good lately, he's obviously not a number 1 cornerback.
Well, just speaking of that, what about the Steelers as a team with Roethlisberger, a healthy Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown?
Yeah.
See, that's why the Steelers, honestly, the Steelers scare me the most because the Steelers have been there, done that before. They're not afraid of us. They're not intimidated.
It's the same reason why the Giants play us so well, and it's exactly what you just said. They don't buy into the Patriots' mystique, which a lot of other teams do. They know that they're good enough to beat us. Now, they usually don't, but that's not for any sort of mental mistakes. It's just we've been a better coach maybe, or we've had 1 or 2 better plays. But that roster is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're going to make the playoffs and make a run, obviously.
Yeah.
I know that Cincinnati's probably, if Cincinnati continues through, they kind of have a weak schedule. They're going to end up, keeping the number 2 seed.
Pittsburgh's probably going to make it because, I'm just looking at the standings now. They're 6-4. The AFC South, the best team is 4-5. So only one team's going to come out of that division. And Kansas City is second place in the West, and they're 4-5. So it looks like Pittsburgh's going to lock up an a wild card slot. Yeah. And they're always dangerous once you get into the play. Like I mentioned, I think that's going to be the biggest thing is, I think we mentioned like Seth, you thought there's gonna be no team in the AFC that could really pose a challenge to them. They would be the team that I would worry about the most as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're not going to play them in Pittsburgh. They're going to come up.
No, and that's the important thing is having that home field advantage.
If it's neutral site or if we're away, yeah, maybe they give us, maybe they take us down to the wire. But they're coming here in the playoffs, and I know Baltimore and the Jets have done it. But that was a the different type of roster. Brady wasn't what he quite is now for some reason.
What are your thoughts about Arizona and the NFC, man, giving any play for the Patriots?
Arizona's awesome. They're a really good team, and you know probably one of the better, or maybe not underrated, but one of the aspects that people don't talk about a lot is how good their coaching staff is. That fucking coach is awesome.
Yeah.
He's great. And where did he come from? Pittsburgh, right? Or no, he came from Indy.
Arians?
Yeah, he was the interim, right, when Pagano was sick?
I believe so, yes.
See, that was a mistake. I know that they couldn't obviously fire Pagano because.
Well, they're gonna fire him at the end of this season, so I mean, like that's what I don't get.
When they made the choice of Pagano over Arians, talk about a blunder. Arians is awesome.
To get off this subject though, speaking of Pagano, so Pagano's gonna get canned.
Yeah.
You know, and everybody's been talking about this. So now here you are. You have a jerk, idiot owner.
Yeah.
But you have a stud young quarterback.
Well, that's the question, though. Is it fair that Pagano's going to get canned with Luck obviously not being himself this year?
Luck is not himself because Pagano's making him do things like Pagano sucks.
But no, but
I don't think he's a good coach.
Is it Pagano's fault or is it
John?
Luck is just not
John,
good?
time out.
Legitimate question.
Did you see the fake punt? That's all I have to say. That should have never happened in the NFL.
Fair enough.
Yeah, well, so I mean, it's definitely Pagano's fault that they've played so poorly. But that roster is crap, and that's not his fault.
Well, the other thing too, if you look at their roster, they get Andrew Luck and they don't draft wide receivers or linemen. You know, like
right. and their big acquisition in the offseason was a 57-year-old Andre Johnson and a 62-year-old Frank Gore. I know they've played okay, but
Andre Johnson is definitely I wouldn't even say he's okay. But
Andre Johnson had one, maybe two good games.
But you know what's crazy? Peyton Manning and Charles Woodson both lead the league in interceptions, same age. But Charles Woodson, I didn't even know was still playing.
Yeah.
He's a safety now. You know, like honestly, and now that we're on the World Wide Web and everybody can hear me, and I know for a fact because I see him right now, I know that Richard Sherman and Darrelle Revis are both watching this, and I'm going to say it to your face, like you're not. You guys like to argue about who's better, and I know Peterson too out in Arizona. None of you guys can hold a candle to Charles Woodson. The guy is 39 years old, and he's leading the league in interceptions.
Well, he's playing safety though this year, isn't he?
Doesn't matter, man.
Well,
I mean,
no, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think Woodson's a shutdown corner anymore.
No, he's not. But what I'm saying is, nobody's going to have in a secondary like that. I can't think of guys that are going to have like a career like that. Like it makes me wonder, like could Ty Law have moved to safety because he didn't end poorly, you know?
Yeah, no, I think you're right. You're not going to see the interception numbers anymore, but I think that's because quarterbacks just don't throw to shutdown guys anymore like they used to. Like I can remember when we were younger and we'd watch like Champ Bailey have those crazy seasons, and they'd rattle off stats like he's only been thrown to 15, 20 times all season. Now it's like 5 or 10 times all season.
Yeah.
German's getting so it's like.
Well, I almost feel you put guys that have good instinct. I think like Ed Reed, and stuff like that. I think make them safeties. I think that's kind of why they made Devin McCourty a safety.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah.
Because they don't throw to you. Well, now
right.
Put them out in the middle of the field. And,
right.
And now you have to try to keep away from them.
Yeah, I also don't like how they'll keep a corner on just one side of the field. I don't like that. I don't like how Sherman only plays the right side, and I don't know. I think if you're that good, why aren't you on the best guy all the time?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
You should shadow the best guy the entire game. Again, I don't understand the element.
Like
is
Malcolm Butler.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you only feel comfortable on the left side of the field because of whatever reason? Can you not run to your right as well or to your left as well?
Basically, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Tall guys have slower hip rotations. You know, that's why little guys like Edelman and Welker make a career out of making quick cuts.
Right.
But yeah, that's probably why he probably can't turn his hips quickly one in the other direction.
Right.
He's a one-trick pony.
Who, Sherman?
Yeah.
That's the headline. Sherman cannot turn his hips.
One-trick pony.
All right, Seth. I know you want to talk some Celtics, Seth. So,
Danny Ainge was having a dinner date with Kevin Durant's mom.
Ooh.
He is.
So are you giving some inside information here, Damien?
No, but no. Do you remember there was an article about that? How when he was still playing in college, just like in the, I think in like the just at the beginning of the tournament, Danny Ainge was sitting next to his mom, and then he got fined $30,000 for like speaking to.
I'll tell you what. Just quickly on Durant. There's two teams that he's. You know, it's basically a flip of the coin, right? It's either the Wizards or it's Oklahoma City.
See, I don't think so. I mean, think about it.
No.
He wants to go to the Wizards. He wants to go home. He wants to go home. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
He wouldn't be if it wouldn't be a coin flip. If you're already in Oklahoma City, they could sign you for more money.
Yeah.
So if you kind of have your heart set there, then you just say, oh, I'll just.
Well, yeah,
stay
but
here.
then the more money thing can always be settled by a sign and trade.
True, you can, but.
Yeah, I mean. And I don't think so Washington has come out with the stance of we're not going to blow the bank for this guy. Like, this is going to be our one-time offer, and we want him to come home. And obviously, he's a great player, but if he doesn't take it, we're not going to pursue him super heavily. We're not going to lose other players just because of him. And I get that that's their stance, and it's probably just posturing.
Oh, of course.
But if you're Durant, and I know you'll be I guess it's like $18 million he would lose out on totally. But why would you not go to the East, which is an inferior league or an inferior conference, and play for a better coach? Because Oklahoma City's not good anymore. I know they have a good front office, and I know they have good players there. But that magic that they had for the last 3 or 4 years, that's gone. That team sucks now.
Do you think Donovan can do anything about that? I mean, because Brooks was considered a good coach for a couple of years, and then all of a sudden he's dropped off the cliff there.
And that's the thing. And I think Brooks was a really good coach, and I think Donovan's an okay coach, but it's not. I don't think it has much to do with Donovan, or it doesn't have as much to do with Donovan as it does. They had lightning in a bottle for that 4-year window. And it just expired.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at they had with those players they had on that roster, it was pretty.
Right.
They drafted well, but then
they peaked
but
2 years too early.
I am going to put this out here. With Durant's 6'9", you know, it's just something about if you always look guys 6'8" and over, once they get a foot issue.
Oh yeah, no, I totally agree. He's shown an ability to not stay on the court the last few seasons for sure.
Well, that would be another thing though. Talking about if he goes to the East, does he get some more rest? I love what LeBron is doing now. He's going to take random games off or take a 3 or 4 game stretch off, and it's not going to hurt them. And then if you fast forward to next year, it's the Wizards and the Cavs fighting it out in the East Finals to go to the finals.
Right. Yeah. I think. Yeah. No. It doesn't make sense for him to stay in Oklahoma City, other than just cashing out the max.
But the other thing too is with the max contract, with the new CBA coming up for renewal. Is it next year or the year after?
It's the year after.
The year after. Does he say, all right, I'm going to sign a 1-year contract?
No, because he's got foot problems.
Well, I guess fair enough.
Unless Dr. Scholes is a GM, that guy should take whatever money he can get.
So, but does he sign a 3-year contract and then or something where he can opt out after a couple of years? Because I don't know what the max contract is going to be in the next CBA, but obviously it's going to go up.
I guess he could. And obviously we have no idea of how friendly he is with Westbrook and everything, but that team looks more and more like Westbrook's team every single season, and especially with Durant not being on the court.
Oh yeah, because he missed the whole season. Yeah.
So and I'm not going to say Westbrook's a better player because he's not, but he looks like he's a better player for that team.
No, you know what, Seth? He is a better player because he actually plays. Yeah. I know that Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant is very talented, but I'm seriously, think of if we stop and start thinking back of all the guys that could have been that got hurt,
Right.
like, is he going to be one of those guys now?
I think he might already be one of those guys.
Yeah, exactly. He came back, and now he's still sitting out games.
Well, I think that was the biggest thing is he shouldn't have come back last year. He should have just taken the entire time off. Again, exact thing. When you have a big guy hurt his foot, look at all the other past examples. Just take the entire time off and don't come back. I mean, that's for an NBA player. That's the most critical thing of you is being able to run and jump. And if you can't do that, you might as well just not play.
Yeah.
So he should have taken the entire year off and not have played.
Yeah, but the difference, or I guess not the difference, but I think the reason he wanted to come back was Oklahoma City was right there for the playoffs. They missed the playoffs for like 2 games. I mean, he comes back even for 2 or 3 weeks at the end of the season, or in the middle of the season, or whatever, and they could have been a playoff team.
But yeah, but to come back and be the 8th or 7th seed would have been really worth it.
No. But
So I mean, if they were fighting for the number 1 and number 2 seed, I could see that coming back and like we have a legitimate chance this year. But last year, everyone was looking, okay, it's going to be the Warriors and it's going to be the Spurs and people were saying maybe the Clippers. Those were going to be the 3 teams that really were going to come out. I don't think Durant coming back to come up a little more was going to be able to beat either 3 of those teams.
Yeah, looking back, probably not. But the Spurs got bounced in the first round.
Well, yeah.
And then Memphis, which was like considered the toughest team in the league.
Right.
So I mean, it's the playoffs. Everyone wants to make it just because. Who knows if Steph Curry shatters his ankle or something and that, whatever.
Steph Curry's another one. I mean, how he lands, he and I was told by basketball aficionados that how he lands, like he purposely, most guys go up and down. He goes up and then kicks his legs, but behind where he jumped, so he doesn't run the risk of landing on anybody's foot because he has very tender ankles.
It's crazy how Steph Curry's played for like 6 years, but it only really seems like he's been a superstar. Well, I guess it's true. He has only really been a superstar for like 2 years.
Correct.
But he looks so good, like as if he's going to be the greatest shooter of all time.
He's a pretty good shooter.
It came out of nowhere. It snuck up. Like everyone loved him in college because of his tournament heroics, and he was a good player for a few years. Everyone's like, oh, this guy.
Well, it's also the NBA. It's like you can't just throw everybody on your shoulders.
But he has been. I mean, this season his per 48 is like 60 points. It's unreal. The guy just. I mean, talk about like no conscience. I've watched a bunch of their games this year. At like 1 a.m., which sucks. We got to do something about these West Coast games. But anyway.
Well, yeah, you know what it is? A guy from Quincy wants to turn this into the Atlantic time zone. So you'd be watching the games at like
2 a.m.
No. I thought it was like
the Atlantic is an hour ahead of us.
So yeah, you just end up waking up a little bit earlier for work. You start your morning with the game.
Well, so seriously, someone from Quincy wants to instead of being the Eastern
to the state, put us in the Atlantic time zone. I don't blame him.
So
I hate this.
So every time zone just gets bumped an hour. Is that all?
No, no states are obligated to adhere to any specific time zone.
So he wants just Massachusetts to go to the Atlantic time zone.
Oh.
So if someone wakes up in Boston but they have to work in Providence, they'd be off.
In Arizona doesn't do any daylight savings time. So
but Arizona's a lot bigger than Massachusetts.
Yeah, you say that, but people out there, remember, there's places in Arizona outside of Phoenix, it's 2.5 hours to get to California. It's a 3-hour drive to get to LA, and there are people that work a couple days a week out in California. So they're making they're like going through a time change.
But if you start messing with those time zones, then you have a Back to the Future 2 situation on your hands. You're going to do sports betting and.
Well, my thing is it makes no sense that the sun sets at 1:15 in the afternoon out here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
And why does it have to? What's the point of this? Seriously, what is the point of these?
So the Atlantic time zone would be like in Nova Scotia and PEI and stuff like that.
So the sun will start to rise 7:45, which is sure. The sun's up at like 4:30 in the morning right now. We have no need for that.
I think it's like 6:30, but
4:30 in the morning.
I think it's like 6:30 to 4:30.
It sets at 11:15 a.m.
When I go out to milk my cows and collect my eggs from my chickens and do my harvesting.
Yes.
You must live in Milton.
It's better beneficial that the sun is up that early, I have to say.
I don't like it. Obviously, that the sun gets set at 4:30.
We should, and we live in this world now where everybody wants to go green and be like save the environment and conserve energy. What are you doing making it darker? Like, shouldn't we adjust times so, like the day goes with the most daylight?
So you mean like totally change the daylight?
Yeah, totally. As I say maybe change the time a couple times a year. Which we do already, but like, but adjust it to the daylight, to to the Earth's rotation to the sun, like. So
not just 1 hour back and forth, maybe 3 hours.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Like I want the most daylight possible.
I like that. Why don't we just play with the number of hours in the day?
Well, that we can't do. Well,
no, it's all relative. I mean, 24 hours. We could say 24 hours is really 48 and a half minutes.
The Earth rotates at
just like if there's only with our current time zone, if there's only 6 real hours, just make it a star.
I don't want to know what it's like. Everybody from the West Coast, when they come up here, they go, "Geez, your games are pretty late here," And
what games?
Are like the 8 o'clock games.
4 o'clock?
Well, are you talking about professional games?
Yeah.
What time? Well, they start some of those at 8 o'clock as well as 7 o'clock if they're not on national TV.
Sunday football is like 5:30 in California.
Well, yeah, because it's Sunday night football.
And then you have time to watch The Simpsons after. Game of Thrones.
But all of the home games that start at 4 o'clock or 1 o'clock there.
True, yeah. But I mean the big games, like the Super Bowl, the next day at work isn't as bad in the West Coast.
The Super Bowl starts like 6:30 our time, so it's 3:30 West Coast time.
It starts at 10:30 p.m. out here after all the stuff.
No, that's a World Series and NBA Finals.
Well, that goes back to the original point of having to stay up, until 2:30 in the morning to watch Steph Curry nail.
Do you have the NBA League Pass?
I do. Yes.
You do? Okay, I didn't just any game you want.
Yes.
Okay, so do you watch a lot of West Coast games?
Not a lot of the West Coast games. I watch the games that I think are intriguing. So certainly a lot of the Warriors games when they're going up against like the Clippers and Memphis. I watch the Portland game because I just like Portland a lot.
Do you want to move to Portland?
I mean, kind of, but I always thought it was Portland, Maine.
Yeah, those are the Red Claws. You gotta
both Portlands are pretty nice. I haven't been to Portland, Oregon, but Portland, Oregon, I've been told is a very nice.
It's
city.
a very bike-friendly city.
Yes, it's very greeny.
Yeah, they adjust their days to use most sunlight.
Yeah, so I watch one of the West games in Sunday, but I like.
Now, can you watch the Celtics in that, or do they black you out?
I honestly have never tried. I am an exclusive member of Tommy Heinsohn fan club. I never miss a game on
Comcast.
Yeah.
If the game is not with Tommy, would you watch it on Comcast, on TNT, or something else?
You're talking like if Scal is the
Yeah. Sometimes if Scal's because he's all the games now, right? He doesn't do any home games.
I guess I like Norman, I like that team, and if it's a national team, I'll still try to locally. Although the other night when we played Oklahoma City, I don't know if you noticed, but Jim Ross was with Cedric Maxwell and Randy for the third quarter.
Okay. From wrestling?
Yeah, Jim Ross, the wrestling announcer. So
was every foul very dramatic? Like, oh my god.
It was exactly like that. So I did listen to that on the radio, but outside of that, I tend to only watch on CSN.
All right, to bring this full circle, my original question to Seth was, I know you want to talk about the Celtics, and we somehow got talking about Kevin Durant and TNT schedules. Yeah. All right, so the Celtics have been playing pretty well the past couple of games.
Yeah.
Is just a I won't say a farce, but it's just like kind of a fluke that they've been a couple good game teams. Is this what we're really going to be able to see? Are they going to be like a third team in the East, or is it just they're going to be the 18th team still?
Watching the beginning of the Golden State Warriors game plan. Okay, so we are at year one of the Golden State Warriors plan with.
Who's the shooter?
So basically, the only difference is
We don't have a
we're doing Vegas.
Okay, so if we're in year 1, what is Golden State in right now? Are they in 5 or are they earlier?
year 6.
5. They're in year 5.
So 1 year early, if you will.
Who
Or Golden State, they made your plan. They want you to be here 4.
they only 3 1 8.
All right, fair enough. I want to kind of compare apples to oranges to see where we're at.
What it was when so it started with my dad, right? He was on that first end that we've had all these years, Donaldson and just chucking, you know, back of that. We're going to go with defensive centric, where we don't have a true center, even though they have Bogut, I know, but the idea was they almost had positions, okay?
Yep.
Sort of how to go into their team.
Well, what's his face in the Celtics? Brett Stevens. If you he says that there's only 4 positions in basketball team.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? The more this guy talks, the more the guy shows up night and it out. He's like next, whatever you want.
He's the Bill Belichick of basketball.
This guy's freaking awesome. He just seems like he's got his finger on the pulse.
Now, somebody said, and I think it's true, he's the biggest commodity for a free agent to come here.
There's no, so I can understand why a veteran might shy away. I can understand why someone like a Carmelo or someone that has played for 15 years.
What is that in the background? Are you Seth? Are you still breeding greyhounds?
Say it again.
Are you still breeding greyhounds to race?
I'm actually in the midst of a dog fighting ring.
Oh. Say hi to Mr. Vic for me.
But so yeah. So I can understand the detraction of an established guy that doesn't want to learn how to play defense. You know, doesn't want to learn a new style. But like you said, for young guys that want to play basketball the right way and that want to win, this guy looks like he's got it. I mean, look what he's doing with. Let's be honest. A really, really mediocrely talented roster.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the number 3 defense in the league. And the other thing that's crazy, I noticed this the other night, and I had to look it up to see if it was real. He's the only coach in the league that's played his entire roster this season. Every single player on his team has got minutes.
They're going to burn out now.
It's crazy. I mean, all the way from Tyler Zeller to Marcus. I mean, everybody on the roster.
Because Mr. Ainge is telling him to showcase everybody, because at some point 8 of them will be traded in a package.
Yeah, and I think that's probably true. But the guys that were, you know, trade bait a year ago or 2 years ago, guys like Fareed, you know, guys, well, before Draymond Green signed his big contract, I know he was looked at. We're kind of seeing that we sort of have those types of players on our roster. Like Jay Crowder's played unbelievably well. Jared Sullinger looks like a legitimate basketball player now.
So if we're in this year 1, where are we in year 3 or year 4? Because like you said, with the way the roster is currently constructed, obviously we don't have that mega star. And
here's the difference. We're in year 1 of Golden State's 5-year plan. Golden State got lucky in that they took like a 6th-round kid in Curry, or wherever he went. I actually don't know where he drafted. But
he was late first round.
Was he first round? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't think he was a second-round pick.
He might not have been, but I know that he wasn't. You know, he was hurt, had some injury concerns. Whatever. He wasn't the top pick.
Tender ankles.
And they struck gold. Nobody thought Curry was going to be the best shooter of all time, and he turned into that. So whatever. They got lucky there, but they still had a good plan. The big difference for us is that although we don't have that guy, we have like 15 first-round picks in the next year.
Now here's the other thing. We have Brooklyn's pick this year.
That's what's going to help us.
Real quick, Curry was the 7th pick.
Yeah, so he's like right up there with Marcus Smart.
All right, so we have all these picks.
That's what I'm saying. We have Brooklyn's pick. Can't we dangle that to somebody now and try to take somebody who's maybe on like the last year's contract, like a Kevin Durant?
We should be ahead of schedule because we not only have a good roster, we have so many prospects in terms of chips and trade bait and whatever else you want to call it. I mean, we're set up probably better than any other team in the league for the future.
I would disagree. The 76ers had the past 15 first pick overalls.
No, that was the Cavs.
Yeah, I know.
All right, but that being said, there's no number one player or number one star on this team, and you can't win a championship in the NBA without having a superstar player. I mean, can we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so if we can't move these chips for a star or to somehow draft somebody, whether it's with Brooklyn's pick, I mean, if Brooklyn is Brooklyn's top 3 protected? I know there's a protection there somewhere, isn't there?
I think no. I don't think.
I think
it's completely unprotected.
I think this one is the one that's ours.
All right, so then so let's work out that assumption. Is there a top star coming out of college this year? Or is it just we don't know yet?
Not that I wouldn't. So there's rumblings of guys, but I don't think there's anyone that's stood out.
Well, the other thing too is any guy that's coming out is not going to make an immediate impact. You're looking at like 3-4 years down the road.
Well, yeah, but if we're in year 1, we can wait 2 or 3 years, and then we'll be looking okay. All right, so
and that's the benefit of having a 32-year-old coach.
All right, so say there's no top player coming out of the college this year. Okay. We have this pick. Do we take it and hopefully we get a number 2 type of player? Do we try to trade it like Damien mentioned, and can we try to get somebody that's in their final year of a contract that would be a star somehow, and then convince that person to stay here? And if we can't do that, who is that player that's willing to come here and stay here?
Well, I think the game plan is always is best player available, whether it's through the draft or through free agency or through a trade. I don't know. I mean, when I play NBA 2K, I make 15-point trades, and I find a way to make the money work, and I create the team that I want to have with LeBron and Durant, Westbrook all on the same team. So that's
thanks, folks. That's it for tonight.
That's how I would try to build a team. Obviously, that's never the case in real life. So it can't. I guess what I'm saying is, if you can't find someone in the draft, and you can't get a free agent here, and then you can't make a trade to get a number 1 option, then why are you even in the league? Why are you even playing the games? If you have no chance of doing any of that, then what's the point of collecting all the assets?
I believe the top kid coming out is the kid in Kentucky. He's a Haitian kid, actually. He's 7 foot, 216 pounds, so he's needs to get some size if he wants to play in the NBA, and he's considered to be a power forward / center.
All right, so I'm looking at the picks right now, and it looks like the Nets pick is not protected in any way.
Right, it's not protected.
And if they want, though, they have the option of swapping out to next year instead.
Right, but why would you do that since the Nets are like 0-40?
No, I agree. So, I mean, it looks like they're going to get something like that. They have the Cavs pick, which is top 10 protected.
Right.
Of course, because the league loves them.
Right. So if it's top 10 protected actually, it's top 10 protected, but it's not going to be this year, so whatever. They have the Mavs pick, which is top 7 protected.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Mavs are going to be in the top 7 this year either. So that being said, so say they have these 3 picks. Can you trade those 3 picks? I mean, last year, but I'm saying, they had 4 picks last year, and when they were trying to trade it to Miami, is that correct? And Miami wouldn't bite.
Yes, they went to get Justice Winslow.
Right. So I mean, if you have those 4 picks, no matter how good they are, people aren't going to trade for them because they know there's going to be a great player. In theory,
it's not the NFL here. You have to look at it this way: like the first round is the first pick. Round 2 is the and then everything else is it's a crapshoot. It's the NBA is awful at evaluating talent.
In the NBA, no, that's true. If you're not, because it's really only about either finding a gem in the late rounds, or completely getting lucky like a guy like Curry, or getting the top 3 picks and making the right choice.
See, but that's crazy. Curry was the 7th pick overall, and they hit gold with it. Most people, most 7th round picks become like role players.
That's exactly what I'm saying. I mean,
But it's pathetic that out of 64 kids coming into a draft, that picking 7 is picking late.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Yeah.
The NBA is a weird product that way.
So ultimately, the Celtics have to catch lightning in a bottle somehow to get better.
Yes.
All right.
You have to trust that Danny and Brad are the smartest guys in the room, and that they'll. So I mean, there's been rumors all around the league that that Danny is basically blackballed from trading with anybody by other GMs because of his record of swindling people. That's the reason, or that was one of the reported reasons.
I don't care what Danny does. I know people are scared because Danny always comes out on top.
Right.
He needs to kidnap Kevin Durant's dog, and be like, look, you're gonna sign and trade, and you're gonna come here. Like,
all right. So with all this being said, they have all these picks, they have all these players, but then, like you said, people know Ainge is going to try to swindle them somehow, or he makes it look like it's a great trade, and then it's not. So how can they do this? Can they really convince you? What's it going to take? I mean, do they have to trade?
There's an Al Davis in every league.
So it's going to take a partnership. Danny's going to have to find a dance partner, number one. But the other thing that's going to have to happen, which I think we're seeing happen, is the team is going to have to get good enough on its own that free agents and people that normally wouldn't get traded are willing to say, you know what, I want to go play in Boston. That seems like a fun organization. It seems like a well-coached organization.
And is Amir Johnson the beginning of that, do you think?
Amir Johnson's been awesome. Yes, I was so happy when Amir signed here because there was really no reason for him to leave Toronto. That Toronto team was great, and I know that they got Carroll and their.
Oh, there's a total reason to leave Toronto. You're in Canada.
Wait, say it again?
There's a major reason to leave Toronto. You're in Canada. Why would you want to play there? People complain about the cold up here. It's already they're in the eternal winter time zone up there.
I guess I meant more about why would you leave?
I know, a playoff team,
and
Toronto
right now. They were a great team. They were right on the verge of becoming one of the elites in the East, and Amir Johnson was a big part of that. So to kind of get him and David Lee was really big for us. That was a huge first step. So,
let's close the book on basketball. I have one question I want to throw out there. Ronda Rousey.
Oh, she sucks.
I don't. Obviously, I know she lost, but
see, that's the thing. Now here I am.
I don't follow it enough to know other than that she lost.
I'm a casual guy. I just read the headlines, and I see Ronda Rousey in all these TV shows. Okay.
All right.
And they like hype her up. And she got kicked in the face and died.
I'm not a casual fan. I'm a die-hard MMA fan. That's not true, but I believe myself to be through my own delusions. All right. So I watch every Ronda Rousey fight. I watch every UFC pay-per-view, and she's been the perfect example of the poster child that's been basically hand-fed cupcakes. She's basically had a feeding system right to her because that women's division is so new and because it's so popular. They were going to do everything they could to protect her, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
So you talk about like her last fight when she knocked out Beth Carrere. The big thing about that girl was that she had only been fighting professionally for 4 years. She was like an accountant 4 years ago. In 2010, she was like a working woman.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're talking about having a championship fight against an Olympic caliber athlete.
And they were just fighting for a sandwich.
So I mean, it's Ronda Rousey has been fed scrubs her entire career. It's basically been an ESPN and Fox Sports 1 driven. Media blitz about how good she's been. When anyone that's actually watched UFC or MMA in general would know.
So what made this girl that beat her the reason?
All the fights that she's had before home.
Yeah.
Well, that they've had either 10 or less professional fights, that they've been woefully undertrained. The girl that she fought previous to home, okay, didn't have a gym to train in. You know how she got coached through Skype. Okay, she had a striking coach, would watch her on Skype shadow box and then give her pointers from home. That's how she was training a fight for Ronda Rousey.
Okay, so Ronda Rousey is just.
So here's the thing, right? Rousey is a world-class caliber athlete.
She was a bronze medal winner.
Right.
But that's the thing. So no. So if they find the gold and silver medal winner that year, will they come in and beat her? Because they did before.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we're talking judo, so she obviously has to have some element of striking. She has to have some element of submissions, which has been Ronda Rousey's crutch and has been her downfall was, she was very quick to pick up the submission game, but she was very poor on her striking, which has always been her biggest flaw, or at least what any MMA person would tell you has been her biggest flaw. So I know that this girl, Holly Holm, was the biggest underdog in UFC history, but anyone that, even watched a little bit of MMA knew that she was a professional boxer.
Yeah.
That she was going to wreck Ronda Rousey. So, I mean, I'm not saying I'm smart enough to put $1,000 on Holly Holm, because I wasn't. I kind of thought Rousey would probably beat her too, just because that's been what's happening.
So you're going to put $100 on instead?
No, all right. To move because we're wrapping up on time. What about that wrestler guy? Not the Brock Lesnar, the other guy that went into MMA. How's he doing?
CM Punk, Phil Brooks?
Yeah.
So he hasn't fought yet. His schedule was that he was supposed to fight January of 2016, but he got an injury during training, so it's pushed back to the summer of next year.
So jeez.
So here's the thing. He's never been in a professional fight outside of wrestling.
So why did they sign him then?
Because he's a name. Because everybody knows who he is.
MMA is a joke.
It's not a joke. I mean, it's a huge market. It's a huge.
Well, from what you're telling me, Ronda Rousey, they literally found vagrants on the street and made her fight them.
Yeah.
And now this guy who doesn't have any experience other than hitting people in the head with steel chairs is now going to fight, and they signed him. Like they gave him a contract.
There's obviously a circus element to the UFC, but it's a promotional business, just like boxing is, just like anything else.
And boxing is a circus. And on that note,
I don't. I don't follow MMA enough.
I don't either.
All right, well, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. If they announced that, say, Chris Weidman, who's the current middleweight or the current light heavyweight champion, if they were going to say Chris Weidman is fighting Jim Johnson, who's had a 20-year MMA career, do you watch that pay-per-view for $60? Probably not. But they told you that Chris Weidman is having a championship fight against CM Punk, who was just facing The Rock in WrestleMania a year ago. People are going to be like, I'm watching that fight.
But I don't understand why, though, because, I mean, CM Punk was I don't want to say a fake athlete, but obviously he was an athlete, but he was never actually fighting and hitting somebody and trying to put somebody in a deadly submission hold.
Do you want to see the Patriots play the Napalm Ham Fighters?
I'll tell you the reason why people are going to watch it. Because there's no loser in that fight. Because one of two things are going to happen. Either CM Punk's going to get his ass handed to him, and everyone's going to say, see, told you wrestling's fake, UFC's better.
Everybody knows
he had no business in the ring. Or CM Punk's going to win, and everyone's going to say, holy shit, I can't believe the UFC fighter just got beaten by some guy that's only had a year worth of training.
Did you remember the language code there, Killer?
I'm going to have an edited version and a non-edited version for later on.
The internet, I can't be censored.
Anyway, I don't know. It just doesn't interest me, so so that's that. All right, we're over an hour. We were supposed to.
Daughters, and you have no idea what it's like to live in a house where you're in constant fear of catching a left hook.
Well, that's correct. We don't. So you have raised a monster, though, and it's your own fault for living in constant fear for our left hook.
I make him stay up until 1 a.m. every night watching Steph Curry shoot threes and CM Punk punch people.
And you wonder why I live in constant fear of getting a punch to the face. You should be worried about waking up one day to a leg to the head.
As if that has happened.
Fair enough. So. All right, anything else, Seth, you want to touch on? We're over an hour, so if we want to go longer, we might as well.
Right.
But
so we're wrapping up. Sorry. So just quickly, I want to say that I guess congratulations on your new show.
Oh, thank you.
I hope that you guys are on for 20 years. I'm glad that you finally went to an internet format like we've been saying for the last 10 years, so that everyone can watch you at home. Nancy's been enjoying it from the couch.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm sure she loves hearing you from home as well.
And I guess the last thing I want to say is the Celtics are gonna get into the Eastern Conference Finals this year, guys.
All right, here, real quick, we're gonna do a wrap up with you, Seth. Celtics into Eastern Conference Finals. Is that anywhere else, or that's where they stop?
No, that's where they stop. They're going to run into Cleveland, and they're going to get beat, but that's because LeBron James is the best basketball player in the world.
All right, fair enough. We already know you think this Patriots are going to get to the Super Bowl. Do they beat whoever else is in the Super Bowl?
Yeah, my original pick was two 18-0 teams in Green Bay and New England going at it for Super Bowl 50, and the greatest Super Bowl of all time. That obviously hasn't happened, but I'm still liking those two teams in the Super Bowl, so I have the Patriots going undefeated, 19-0 season, greatest FU, the greatest of all time in professional football.
It would be, yeah.
It would. All right. So we want to thank you for calling in here today on the show, and I'm sure we'll be talking to you on future shows as we get ready on a better schedule.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks, Seth. We'll talk to you later. That was Seth McLaughlin. We're going to hang up on him now. We want to thank him for calling in. Something to get to do too often like that, to have a call in on this new format here in SportsNight. All right, so again, we're over an hour. I should have paid more attention to the clock when it said 57 minutes, but I'll get ready to wrap it up, and now we're at 1:08 or something like that. And the live stream on YouTube is off because I was cheating the time. It's been streaming for an hour and 46 minutes, which is correct. But I just started early to make sure I wasn't going to get screwed up.
Does YouTube limit how much stream you can?
I don't think so, but I don't know. I haven't. Again, this is the first time I had about 2:30 today. I was like, you know what? Let me see if I can stream on YouTube live tonight. And I spent a little time researching, downloading some stuff from my computer. All right. So, do you think the Patriots are going to go to the Super Bowl? Are they going to go to the Super Bowl?
Knee-jerk reaction. Yeah, I think they're the best team in the AFC.
I think so as well. I mean, I think the only team that I'd be really
worried is in fuego this year.
The only team I'm worried about would be Steelers. Because I think, like we talked about earlier, they have all the elements you need. They could keep within a dogfight. I would have thought Broncos. I'm hoping until we play them, because especially if it's in New England, I still see them being
especially Brock
Osweiler.
I want to see how that kid, has a week to prepare how he plays. What is the thing?
It does. So I don't know if Tom Flash because Peyton is
man, awful.
Yeah,
like he should have retired.
I brought this up to Martin here QAT earlier today.
2 more wins away for the all-time wins record, though.
Did they keep him in just to get the records?
Yes.
Because I'm kind of thinking that's partly a little bit as well. Fellow Maz mentioned that yesterday. I hadn't really thought of that, and that may have been, but he wasn't this bad until Sunday. I mean, he wasn't great, but he wasn't. I mean, maybe all it was because of that injury. But that's all right. Maybe this is going to be a career injury. We get him in there, just the passer, and now he's going to play again.
Yeah, and stuff like that. I hate seeing guys because I respect him. He's not anymore. Yeah, but it's like, why do you have to go out that? Go out being like benched. If that was his last game, people look at those stats. Like, when I was looking at Peyton, I think that's how well the game that he broke.
People are really going to go and look at that. I mean, other than John Elway, incapable of the last game. I
mean, he's going to be Dan Marino. He's going to be like, it was great, but like we saw him look at it go, he never really won anything.
But that's the thing, is that maybe it's because he was playing Brady for a lot of the Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He showed Super Bowl against Drew Brees and Saints.
Yep.
Whether they I don't know. He's some bad plays there. Lost against the Seahawks.
I mean, the first play with him walking away center, doing Omaha, doing a stupid, to just being where he should be in the center snap ball. It's like perfect example of Peyton Manning right there. He tries to outthink everybody else.
When he goes down and does retire, is it going to be okay? He was arguably, he was one of the top 5 quarterbacks ever, but he could have been number 1 if he didn't have some of those bad plays. And whether it was that interception at key times that look back and go, man, you shouldn't have thrown that, but he threw it, and whether he was trying to force it or he thought he saw something different, or you baited him into throwing it. I don't know what it was.
I think rings are people really value, because everyone right now, if you poll 100 people within 100 miles, they're gonna say, who's a great, well, actually here would be bias.
Well, yeah, here 100 out of 100 people are
I mean, most people say, "Oh, Montana." Why? Montana has 4 rings. He won 4 Super Bowls.
I mean, that would be better. He won. He got Super Bowl.
Exactly.
And the other thing was, we talked about very briefly earlier. If he had won the Super Bowl, imagine the Colts in those or 05 when they lost in the championship game.
Yeah.
06.
They totally destroyed the
Bears.
Yeah.
And you look at that, and Indianapolis, got to give them credit. They came back in that game.
7 Super Bowls, yeah.
They would have beaten easily. I guess, so what ifs when you look back at different things that the season.
I don't see why he should.
So, all right, what if he comes out this year and hits 35 home runs, 100 RBI?
He already has 500. He has like, what, 510 now or something like that?
I think with the number right.
Okay, so he gets another 30 home runs, let's say, so now he has 500 home runs. You know, I will say, like, 500 home runs puts you in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, we'll come back in a second. Keep going.
But, I mean, you know, if you want to know, dude, you're rated hitter ever, like, period. So, hey, like, who's the best clutch hitter in Red Sox history? And one person said Ted Williams. No, Ted Williams never won a World Series. Championships matter. As much as Ted Williams is a god to baseball, David Ortiz has rings. You know, he caused rings.
503 home runs.
500. So you know, what does he want? Does he want to get to 600? Does maybe that's why I said I want 500 plus 500 runs.
He has 503 runs, 1,041 RBIs, and those for hits.
He's not going to get 2,000 RBIs. So
no, and he has 2,300 hits, so he's not going to get 3,000 hits.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. No matter, he'd have to play another 5 years to try to get 3,000 hits, and even then, he's not going to.
I mean,
so the question is, he's been a possible steroid guy.
Yeah.
Does he get into the Hall of Fame? A, because question mark.
Yeah, because
and B, because of he only played designated hitter.
The non New York voters will vote him. No, in that list, all the lists that came out, that's under like lock and key on that list of the original tested guys.
Right.
And he wasn't Manny. I mean, Manny like failed numerous tests. I mean, if that list comes out, there's going to be a lot of guys out there that people are going to be raised, But yeah, I'll let him in, and it's a promise error. I'm like let Sosa and McGuire in. Everybody was doing it,
I think it's one of the things.
It was a different.
Everyone seemed to have been doing
time.
it, so yeah, you got
It was a different time.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think for Ortiz, I think he should be in the Hall of Fame, unless something definitive comes out that he was juicing, which. It's so tough to tell. Maybe he was, but again,
I mean,
everybody seemed to be. But I think that's the biggest thing.
Guys
people
can
are
be
gonna go
HGH now, and you'll never tell.
People are gonna go, why? I think he was, so I'm not gonna vote him in. And that's why people aren't voting for Bonds or McGuire or Palmeiro or whoever.
Well, you know what the thing with Bonds was? I think with Bonds was it was ridiculous. Ortiz's physique didn't really change much from when he came in.
He's always been kind of that pudgy type of guy.
Yeah, I mean, McGuire literally. I mean, McGuire's people listening at home, look at McGuire's rookie card, and Barry Bonds,
Right.
and then look at what at their peak. Like God, they look totally.
Yeah, they were huge.
They were different human
Well, we
beings.
even look at Bonds now.
Yeah,
I mean, there's been video of him talking online or different interviews, and you can see he's back to his 1986 type self, if you will, because he's obviously not doing anything anymore. And the same with McGuire. McGuire is thinned down a lot as well.
Yeah,
but
and Ortiz has been the same.
And it's. Usually you could say for football players, that's going to happen a lot. And because when you're playing football and you're like an offensive lineman and you retire, most of the time you're going to lose 100 pounds almost instantly.
Sometimes they gain more, but
they may. But
Barkley.
Most of the times you're going to lose all that weight because you're just not eating as much. You're not working out as much because you need to be 325 to be a lineman, and all of a sudden you're down to 250. You go, oh my God, you look like you're half of yourself because you almost are. But for baseball, you never see people get that big and then all of a sudden slim down like that.
I mean, it was a different time. I mean, I'd say vote him in. And you know what? In the back of my head, I kind of think you probably did do something, but I don't hold it against you because everybody else did.
Fair enough. All right, well, I think we're going to wrap it up here on this.
And we do get to vote. And people that don't know, we are the
we are part of the
baseball,
BBWAA.
Yeah.
All right, I think this is going to wrap it up for this edition of Sports Night. Again, we try to do something different here. We're in a different studio here at QATV. This is going to be, instead of a live show on QATV 8. It's going to be, and maybe we'll be doing some of that again. I don't know, but this is more of a here in the studio. Oh, Damien's going to go handheld now. You know, we have a couple of post-production cameras in here to do it like that. Try to get some things up on YouTube, more interactive, so people can watch it live in that manner. So we're going to try to see how things go differently. I don't know how often we'll be able to do the show, just because, again, we mentioned at the very top of this. Yeah, you know, we're busy at home with family, 2 girls each, and all the other different things work.
This could give us a good excuse to do one of those old-fashioned WSFR all-night marathons.
You just do it a night show instead.
Get some Chinese food, yeah.
Talk about random things for however long we want to do. Well, I think the other thing, too, is, you know, with the show, when it was in this TV studio, it took a little bit more effort to do different things. You know, you had to make sure that this video was okay, this audio was okay, was this working, was that working. Now, in this element, it's a little bit different. So, I mean, in theory, I don't have to have these GoPro cameras here, and I have a podcast ready to go. Yeah. And we can just do it something like that. You know, to set up the YouTube stream, it's not that difficult. So, you know, we can do something like that. So, either way, I still want to have it on.
Potentially hook up like one of these cameras to that.
I probably could do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd have to take. I have some free software that I'm using to get this onto YouTube right now. Yeah. In that manner. But either way, I'm hoping to do something a little bit different. Maybe we can do it more often. Again, we said the last time we did a show was at least a year ago, but it's been more. I know. Yeah. I think it's been like a year and a half since we've done a show in the studio.
Decades.
So anyway, so if you are interested, you can send us an email, qatvsportsnight@yahoo.com. Let us know how you think everything went here. If you're watching this,
you should go through every minute of every episode and make a montage.
Every minute. Actually, we've done like 120 something episodes. Yeah. I mean, not you and I. I've done 125 episodes. Yeah. You've been on probably 100 of them. I mean, it's been a lot, but that might be a little bit too much work. But anyway, qatvsports@yahoo.com. The other thing I mentioned too is I want to try to change the name and do something a little bit different. So maybe we'll have a new email at some point, and I don't know. We'll see how things go. Maybe I'll just keep it the same, and we'll talk sports for half, and whatever else comes up about, which is what we usually do anyway. So maybe I'm just trying to reinvent the wheel. I don't need to.
The locker room.
You've had about 15 different names, so we'll see what happens. For those of you that are watching, for a little plug here for QATV, Thanksgiving football between Quincy and North Quincy will be live audio on QATV Channel 8 on Thanksgiving morning.
It's going to be a heck of a game.
It should be. 9:30 a.m. is going to be the pregame, and 10 a.m. will be the live kickoff on QATV Channel 8. So hopefully you'll tune in then. And if you can't watch or can't listen to the live audio on Channel 8, the replay will be on Channel 8 later on the day. I think it's like 4 p.m. and 8 p.m., but check qatv.org for the actual times to get that. And we'll see what happens for that.
Does Quincy do a powder puff game?
I don't know. They used to. I know when I was in high school, they had one. It always used to end up in a brawl, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Which seems like it's
I'm reffing one for the high school I work at.
Oh, interesting. Friday, okay. And maybe, again, I don't know if they've done that anymore.
I think it's pretty rough.
I know there's a lot of different, besides that, there's a lot of different pre-games and barbecues and tailgating for the Quincy North Quincy game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there are. There's going to be a big one around this year as well. Kerry Byrne, I don't know, he's a sports writer and food critic. He's from Quincy. He's having a big thing here in Quincy. But I know there's other different things. There were people tailgating in the parking lot last year before Thanksgiving. Of course, McCoy Mitchell Field. And then I know a lot of people, they'll be at home and tailgate, or they might go to a local establishment and tailgate for a little while.
Do they open it that early for the game?
Some places do, yeah.
Can they legally open that early?
Pouring establishments, I think, can. Package stores can't.
Yeah.
But I think if you're a restaurant, I think you can open.
I guess, you can have a mimosa.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know what the actual licensing rules are, but anyway, so tune into QATV for the football game on Thanksgiving morning.
Have a mimosa.
Well, yeah, if you want, if you're at home and you're prepping all the food, have a mimosa. Maybe pop a beer or pop a bottle of wine or whatever your choice is.
Sliders for
now,
garnish.
We had a party for my youngest daughter the other day, and I had that hard root beer, and I knew you had one of those, right?
I did. I hate root beer. My wife was the one that had it.
Oh, okay.
I got one for her. Yeah.
Okay. Did you have a sip?
No, because I hate root beer.
Okay, I didn't know if by chance you took it.
Yeah.
I know I can have one, and that's about it because they're really sweet.
Yeah.
And I think they're good, but one is about the limit on those.
Yeah, I'm like that with ciders. I'm trying to get into ciders. They're pretty. See,
Yeah.
this this should be called locker room talk.
Well, no, see, I'm going to stretch this out another couple of minutes, or maybe, because I know Michael here at QATV is going to kill me because I said it was going to be an hour show, and now we're at an hour and 20-something minutes. Someone's going to kill me. At least it's not an hour and 2 minutes, because I think he hates that even more. But anyway, yeah, I think I haven't been a fan of the ciders. I can't get into those. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
I can do just regular plain old apple cider, but I can't do hard ciders, other different things like that.
Yeah, those I can do one of, and because too sweet and it gives me like heartburn. I don't like it.
Well, that makes sense. Why would you want to have heartburn?
Yeah, most people don't. And I'm looking forward to the Patriots playing this Monday night because I just have Tuesday for work and then Wednesday off. So
Yeah. Well,
Hooray for
it'll be
me.
a good few days off.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I'm going to be working that whole weekend because football is on Thursday.
Yep.
Friday, and actually, I don't have to do anything on Friday. However, we have our annual Bourbon Bowl football game on Friday.
Yep.
And then I feel like I'm doing something else on Friday night. I think my wife's friends from college, we're getting together with them on Friday night. I feel like that's what we're doing. I could be wrong about that. But also on Friday night here in Quincy is the Turning On the Lights in Quincy Center, which is kind of a cool thing to go to.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good family event.
What time does that start?
I believe it's at 5:30 or 6.
I should bring the kids down.
Yeah, but they have some different events going on. They have some storytellers, and then
Will
they turn
Santa
on the
come
lights.
up from Weymouth?
I don't know. Santa will be coming on Saturday, though, after Thanksgiving, when he parachutes down at Pageant Field.
Yeah.
And he has some elves coming down as well. And then on Sunday is the annual Christmas Festival Parade here in Quincy.
Yep.
It'll go down Hancock Street. And you can watch that live on QATV as well. So we encourage you to do that. All right. Anything else you want to talk about? When are we going to do our next show?
We'll talk off air. I
Yeah.
also have a very, very juicy tidbit of information to tell you regarding sports, but it has to be off air.
Oh, some inside information from Damon Ritchie, Inside Baseball.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll be back at some point soon. It's not going to be as long as it was for the last time. This setup lets us do it a little bit more often, hopefully. All right, so we want to thank Seth McLaughlin for calling in. We want to thank all of our viewers watching on YouTube for watching this inaugural Sports Night on YouTube. And we want to thank all our viewers for watching at home. So for Damon Ritchie, my name is Jonathan Caleri. Thanks for watching this edition of QATV Sports Night. We will see you next time.